Welcome to the July 2023 Huntsville, Alabama real estate report. But before we jump into those numbers, make sure you hit subscribe below to stay on top of all of the latest Huntsville, Alabama real estate news. Despite higher interest rates here in the Tennessee Valley, average prices are still slightly up 0.6%. The average price here in our area is $354,002 versus $351,721 this time last year. This just really shows the strength of the market and really the lack of supply that's available here in the Huntsville market as well. Decatur surged even more than Huntsville did. Their price went from $275,000 up to $288,000, which I think is just a natural shift to lower price markets that are still within commuting distance to Redstone Arsenal and other jobs here in the Tennessee Valley. Huntsville has been basically flat. $390,000 in July was the average price versus $391,000 last year. The big news is townhomes and condos. Due to affordability index, multifamily is getting more attention from builders to be able to create more affordable products. And so this time last year, or really even at the beginning of this year, the average price townhome and condo was just over $245,000. That has surged to over $303,000. And that's just as a result of increased labor costs, building materials, and it's just more expensive to build a townhome and condo versus several years back. And so this is good news, even though the prices are going up in the townhome and condo areas, but it's great news that builders are really focusing on the supply for more affordable housing. So the average price is slightly up. Closed sales are down across the Huntsville area and really the Tennessee Valley. We're down 20.7% in terms of units sold in July, 1,337 last July and 1,060 this year. They're down even more in the Huntsville area, down 32% from 802 to 606, which makes a lot of sense because there's just even less supply in the Huntsville area. And quite frankly, Huntsville, as we just went over the numbers, is more expensive in some of the surrounding counties. So as we're looking for more affordable housing, a lot of these surrounding areas like Limestone County, Morgan County, et cetera, are going to see more and more buyers shift to those markets for affordability purposes. So this has really been consistent too. 1,060 sales in July. We've really ranged between 1,060 to 1,188 between March and July. So sales have stayed relatively flat for the last several months. All right, so we talked about closed sales being down year over year. Pending sales, however, have been flat year over year, 1130 versus 1143 versus last July. And I think a lot of that is because last year, around this time, interest rates started going up and we saw a dip in Q3 and Q4. And it looks like we're starting to come out of that. So pending sales is looking good in terms of future trajectory. We're probably not going to be down year over year looking in Q3 and Q4. So we talked about closed sales being down 20.7%. We also have a decrease in listings as well. So a decrease in closings, decrease in listings is why we're seeing that flat or 0.6% price increase over the Tennessee Valley. We've actually saw 14.4% decrease in number of listings, 1,580 versus 1,353. Notice that number is actually lower than the closed sale number, which indicates that our inventory is actually starting to get worse once again, which is going to continue to put more and more price pressure on buyers and create even more of a seller's market. So we talked about new listings being down. Inventory is actually up, which makes sense because closed sales are down. Inventory is up 12.2% across the valley, which isn't really that bad considering how far the number of homes sold has fallen. So 2796 versus 2492. Huntsville is up even more at 26.6%, which makes sense because Huntsville has more expensive homes. A lot of buyers are chasing more affordable counties in Morgan County and Limestone County as the affordability index continues to go below 100 with higher interest rates and people chasing more affordable homes. So that makes sense, but don't be too really fooled by that high percentage because we still have a seller's market in the Huntsville area. We still do not simply have enough supply for the demand in the area, and that is reflected in the price. Huntsville average price has really not changed over the last year. Months of supply is still low. It's 2.8 months versus 2 months just a year ago. Just a quick refresher, a balanced market is considered 4 to 6 months, and so we are south of that 4-month level at 2.8 months, which means we are technically still in a seller's market. Homes are still selling very quickly as well, with days on market coming in at 29 versus 13 last year. 29 days is still one of the lowest days on market that it's ever been in my real estate career. So 29 days for the average home selling, which means sellers are definitely selling their homes quickly in this market. The big stat of the day that jumps off the page to me is the Housing Affordability Index. Just a quick refresher, the Housing Affordability Index means a score of 100 means a median income can afford the median priced home in our area. Anything north of 100 means homes are more affordable. Anything less than 100 means homes are less affordable. So Huntsville has received awards and attention for several years for being north of 100. In fact, we were at 147 score just 2 years ago in 2021. Now we're sitting at 85 versus 95 last year. So that number continues to go down as prices continue to creep up and interest rates continue to go up as well. This is bad news for the area because we need a place to live for our median incomes. We need a place to live for our police officers, our nurses, our teachers. And so the further out they have to commute, that's just not good for society. And so that is one of the negatives that's happening here in the Huntsville market right now. That being said, Huntsville has actually still considered one of the best places to purchase if you're a first-time home buyer. It was recently ranked 7th in the nation. So I'm kind of considering it like we're one of the cleanest dirty shirts that are in the US. We're less affordable than we'd like to be, but we're much more affordable than a lot of other comparison cities. As we wrap things up here, Zillow does a survey every quarter with homeowners, asking them if they plan on selling their home in the next 3 years. This most recent quarter's data shows that sellers are most likely to move since Zillow's been recording this data. So they're saying that 23% of all home sellers across the US are planning on selling their home in the next 3 years. There was also a recent survey done out there that 64% of homeowners and sellers say that now is a good time to sell. So if you're thinking about selling your home, shoot us an email at moving@mattcurtisrealestate.com or give us a call at 256-333-MOVE.